models. I need to get finished with these commissions first so I can start painting my own shit again. I got pictures, man. I got like 2 or 3 pictures of my own still on the camera. I got 2 paintings in here I still need to get to and can't cause I keep working for other people. But working for other people right now is what's paying the bills. I got a robot arm. Working for other people is paying the bills. So, started another commission. I'll be working on this for a while. But I just wanted to get that one, like I said, just get it started. And I think I'm gonna pull it down. I already got it sketched out and have the canvas tone. So that's ready to go. I can start painting on it. But I do want to continue to work on the other commission that I've been working on. Since it's so large and taking so much time, I really just want to get this thing done. And I don't know, maybe I'll work on the first commission today, and maybe tomorrow I can start like working on the underpainting for the new project. And whatever I get done, and if not, if I don't get a lot done, it's no biggie because I already told the client that I'm working on several projects right now, so you just gotta get in line. Basically, everybody gotta line up and wait on their painting, and paintings don't happen like overnight, so they know it's gonna be a process. Some months into this thing before they can get what they want. But it's all good though, because people understand that. And I'm so happy that people understand that I can't paint this shit overnight. Simple as that. You ain't gonna have this done overnight. Oh wow, really? I don't have hmm. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I don't have my jar up here. I know I had my jar. I know I had my little jarry jar. Like, please don't make me walk downstairs for this shit. I just got up here. My God. Can a brother just sit down? I just got off work, man. Just got off work. Now I gotta go back to work in the studio. Painting, entertaining, and being an entrepreneur and all this good stuff. Blake Ryan. Pinowick, 1986. Oh no, I love The Last of Us Part 2. I'm already on my second playthrough. Already back in Seattle again, yo, on the second playthrough. Trying to find the gas to get the generator started. Going through the east gate and the north gate and trying to figure out the gate codes and all that good shit. Love that game. Game is phenomenal. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, who gives a fuck about the online? There are certain games that's just like, certain games don't need online. Uh, I'm a big fan of the Elder Scrolls series. Elder Scrolls Online, did not like it. Don't play it. I'm a really big fan of the Fallout series. Fallout 76, never bought that shit. I don't want to mess up my Fallout experience with other douchebags in the fucking servers with me. Um, the first Ghost Recon Wildlands, that shit was hot. They eventually added online PvP, but for like the first 6 months or almost 7 months of the game, it was just co-op, and that's the kind of online that I kind of like. I favorite that better. But like, every game doesn't have to be online to make it good or playable or fun or enjoyable. It's a thought for part three. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of confused me about The Last of Us Part Two. It was like you could have ended it twice before it actually ended. Like, and I don't know. Abby let him live twice. She could have killed you on 2 occasions. And on both occasions, she let you fucking live. Like, give up. Give up the revenge. And then in the end, you lose everything. And it's like, oh, this is the end of the game. And then no, it's continues on. And I'm like, get to a point and I'm like, okay, this is the end of the game. And it's like, no, this isn't the end either. I'm like, wait a minute. You're dragging this shit out. Yeah, this is true. This is true. I mean, they kind of got Abby as a child and how traumatic her father's death was to her, and the story, it made me understand Abby. I mean, it's the last group of scientists that we know of in America that has the knowledge, know-how, and capabilities to create a vaccine. The last group of people who can do this shit, who can save humanity, and they have a subject that they can make the cure from. And you know what? Joe just blasts all these motherfuckers away. I can see why Abby and the other group was highly pissed off on that. I get that completely. I see why she wanted to fucking kill Joel and make it last a long time and really punish him for what the fuck he did. I get it. I see both sides of the story and I agree with both sides of the story. If I was on this side, I would have did exactly what Joel did. If I was on the other side, I would have done exactly what Abby had done, and like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It's just which side of the coin did you get? Heads or tails, motherfucker? But yeah, The Last of Us was an excellent game. Uh, Visually superior to the previous installment. Um, the character build was awesome. A lot of people said, "Oh, it could have been 10 hours shorter if you took out all the flashbacks." I enjoyed every part of the game. Every part. There was nothing that I mean, there was, like I said, it was confusing to me when it could have ended a little earlier. But in order to get that final ending, yeah, you can see how I see how they did it that way and why they did it like that. but it was well written, and it wasn't um like an action button type game where you just have to sync the buttons, but it did feel like a movie that you got to play. It was like a playable movie, and I enjoyed that tremendously. What up? What up? I'm getting text messages over here. Who's blowing up my phone? I might have a Zoom meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. I might have a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock tonight. Talk about some art projects and grant funding for a couple of organizations that I'm partnered with. Yeah, the combat is better. Gameplay is so smooth. I praise that shit over and over and over. Where you're playing the game, and then they give you like maybe a 3 or 4 second cutscene, or maybe 10-15 second cutscene, but right from gameplay into cutscene and then back into the gameplay seamlessly. It's like, wow, I wasn't even playing that part right there, but it felt like I was. Oh yeah, the lesbian smoking weed in the grow house. What? You can't open it? Give it here, I'll open it. And she couldn't open it. She's like, fuck it. She smashed the jar on the ground. That was my favorite part. What are you doing? Well, I opened it, didn't I? This kid's better be better than a solid 7 or whatever she said. Then they start humping and shit. Then the dude busts up in there like, damn, you're banging my ex-girlfriend who's pregnant by me? Who's texting me and why? I'm in a group chat. Well, I'm in a group text, and nothing pertains to me. Hmm. Oh, hitting a couple of homies up. So. Oh, I got some shit to talk to y'all today about, man. Some Facebook drama over some posts that I made. I love when this shit happens because I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually had to go in on somebody about shit that's on my Facebook. Like I know I don't get that. I really don't get how you can get so mad about a Facebook post. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you want to give your unwanted, unintelligent, and uninformed opinion on a post. If you don't like it, when I don't like posts on Facebook, I normally just slide right by that shit. Like scrolling through Facebook, a Facebook friend of mine posts something that's like, don't really agree with that. So what? Keep going, keep scrolling. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's fucking awesome. I like that. I like that. Heart, heart, heart. I don't really agree with this post. Nah, fuck it. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Like normally, I swear to God, 9 times out of 10, if I don't agree with a post, I'm not gonna say anything about it. Yeah, for calling someone stupid, it's retarded. You know, it's hella retarded. And so today, I had to like delete a friend, a Facebook friend who I actually met in person. I met her in person first. This was years ago, maybe 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, me and one of my friends, we rode up to New York to go to uh, Woodstock. Everybody know the famous Woodstock concert from the 60s or whatever. Well, Woodstock is actually a real town. It's like the town of Woodstock is in New York. And so we went up there to check this shit out. A nice little quaint town. Has tons of antique shops and galleries and mom and pop stores and stuff like that. Nice little restaurants. Cool ass fucking town. And so we went to this one art gallery, and there was I swear they are more sensitive. And there was this cool ass lady in there. She had this really weird ass like geometric art using like circles within circles to create like these wild, colorful geometric patterns and stuff. And she called herself Aurora. And she had this thing that she came up with called the Flying Rainbow Lasagna. And she was like, "Well, I really believe I'm an extraterrestrial from this star system, and I'm just here in physical form and as a human, and all this other stuff." And I thought she was kind of quirky, but kind of cool, and her art was pretty nice. And so I wound up following her on Facebook and just trying to keep up with her art and stuff like that. And so over the past few years, like, you know, I've never really had like any kind of negative online experiences with this lady. But today, I made a post, and she said some outlandish ass shit that just, I don't know, man, that shit heated me up so fast and so hot that I had to make like a really strong comment back to her and take her off my fucking friends list. Like, I don't need people like you on here. Like, if these are your views, then I don't need you associating with my page or anything like that. You know, I don't try to keep only like-minded people on my page. I try to keep people on my page who are insightful and who I can learn from. I really feel like the internet is a tool, and you can use a tool wisely. I mean, you can use a hammer to kill a motherfucker or build a house. Which one do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So use the shit as a tool. I'm not trying to kill motherfuckers. I'm trying to build houses with my tools. You know, and I only know how to paint, so I need somebody who knows electrical and who knows plumbing. And then I can learn from you, and I can learn from you, and then we can build this fucking house together. That's how I see that shit. But when motherfuckers come in and just throw a monkey wrench in the whole system for no reason, because of their ignorance, like, nah, cutting that shit short. You know, and it's only on Facebook because I do use my Facebook as a platform to, you know, just post a bunch of random shit, like anything that I feel like posting. Whereas my Instagram page is 99.9% art. So if you want to know Travis, the artist, go to my Instagram page and check out all my art. If you want to know a little bit about Travis the person, you can go to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and see what kind of shit I'm into. I only add family. I feel you on that shit, bruh. Because And that's another thing too. Like, I really don't send out a lot of friend requests for any. I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. And for Facebook, since I'm an old ass fucker and I've been on Facebook, almost since this shit started. Like, nowadays, I don't ask a lot of people like, oh, be my friend, be my Facebook friend. Like, fuck that, because I know my page is slightly controversial and I have like different views from everybody else. So if you want to be on my Facebook page, you have to send me a friend request. And sometimes I don't even accept them shits because I haven't had a real life in-person conversation with you that is in depth on any topic or subject. If I haven't held a real genuine conversation with you, most of the time I won't let you on my page because you will think that I'm racist or homophobic or whatever, which is absolutely not the case. I mean, I have strong opinions and views on certain things, and that is what it is. And people can misconstrue those viewpoints and say that I'm this and I'm that. Like right now, I had some member of an organization invite me to join their organization because they want to implement some type of community action response team to help lower income kids have access to resources that they would not otherwise have access to. Henceforth, we're going to bring in Travis, the black token artist, because there's nobody else in their organization who's black. And so now they need somebody, because they're going to start this community action thing. Well, if it's going to be for minorities and black and brown people, maybe we should have a black or brown person sitting on our board. And so they said, oh, let's use him because he's an artist and he speaks properly, not as intimidating as other blacks are. And I see that shit. I can see right through it. Like, lately I have been the token black guy for a lot of people. And so I try to use that to my advantage. But anyway, the board member who invited me to sit with them and have a conversation about how they want to proceed with their programs, she sent me a friend request to my personal Facebook page, and I have not accepted it yet. Because you have not had a real, thorough, in-depth conversation with me. You don't know me. You may assume you know who I am, but you don't know me. And if I let you on my Facebook page, it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth. Oh, I get that all the time. And I don't sound white. I sound like I can enunciate my syllables and pronounce words correctly. And if that makes you sound white, then that's systemic racism right there too. It's on so many levels that most people don't even consider. You're very articulate, which means you talk pretty good for a black person. That's what that shit means. Oh, he's so articulate. Because I'm supposed to use African American vernacular all the time, right? And shit like that, you know? And so that's why once again I don't let people come on my shit now unless if you don't really know me, you don't really need to be on my page because you're just gonna get pissed off. Simple as that. It's just gonna piss you off. So that's kind of false, Maceo, because a German who speaks English is going to have a German accent. Still speaking English, but nobody criticizes him about the way they speak. Anybody you can go to England And people who speak English aren't going to sound like people in America. It's an accent. The same thing with black people. We speak the same fucking English, we just say it different, and it sounds different. And then, although like black culture is just so, we're just so fucking cool, yo. Like 90% of the slang comes from us. New cool slang words, no cap, shit like that. We come up with all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just saying the word as an agreement. Yo, I'm about to go cop this new thing. Word? You know what I'm saying? All that shit come from us. How we take the English language and bend that shit to do what the fuck we want to do. You know what I'm saying? I love speaking that shit. I'm saying, even in America, you get a motherfucker from New York and a motherfucker from Cali. If a New York motherfucker go to Cali and go to a restaurant full of Californian people, they gonna know like this dude ain't from around here. Why? Because the way he talk. Simple as that. And there is a such thing as African American vernacular English. Most people don't want to accept it, but yeah, we have our own branch of English as well. Just like we don't speak fucking the King's English all proper like the fucking Englishman does. But back to the point of this. Oh, she funny as hell. People still are commenting on this. So we're gonna get right to this real quick. I'm gonna show y'all my post. Now this is my personal Facebook page. Nobody don't send me no friend request because I won't accept it. I just tried to explain that to y'all. So don't try to send me no friend request. Now this is my shit. That's my profile picture. You know who that is? Anybody know who that is? If you can tell me who that is, I give you 15 cool points. Cause this should be easy. If it was hard, if it was really hard, I would give you like 30 or 40 cool points. But if you can name this dude, I'll give you 15 cool points. And wrong. Next, try again. You close. You close. I know we all look alike, but damn. I mean, not that much. This guy is middle brown and Huey P. Newton was a high yellow motherfucker. Yeah, those guys don't look alike, bro. Not the same guy. That's Huey P. Newton. Ain't got no color pictures of Huey? That's crazy. But yeah, that's not the same dude. There you go. Yo, he knew it was one of them. He was like, it gotta be this motherfucker or this motherfucker. Now you want to scroll through my fucking my profile pictures? Who's that? Ooh, who's that? Yeah, cause I post him like that's me. Who that is? You got Fred Hampton. Congratulations, 15 cool points. You know what? I'm gonna give you 20 cool points just because you got close to start with. Like he's like, nigga, that's one of them Black Panther motherfuckers. It's Huey Newton or what's the other guy's name? Fred Hampton. Yeah, who this is though? No? This one a little bit harder. I'll give you 35 cool points for this one. That's me, looking like a fucking soldier. That's me, looking handsome as shit, buffed than a motherfucker. Damn, boy, look big right there. Blackout. Me again. Me again. Who that? Come on, man. Real soldiers, real leaders, real educated thinkers, real organizers. This is a real black man. You will never see a man like this become president of the United States. That's me raising the Pan-African flag. Who's that? Who's that? That's Julius Malema. Look him up. You got that one? Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Don't forget the doctor part. Yes, he was a scholar, educated man. Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Yes, sir. You know your shit. I ain't giving you no more points. You answering all the questions. Get out of here, bro. Let somebody else raise their hand. I'm going to call on somebody else. Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba. Look him up. My cover picture, little beautiful African boys enjoying their life. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful African boys. Anyway, let's go to this post I made earlier today. So, I saw somebody post this, and I reposted it. Hold up, let me set that down. So I repost this. Dear white people, please stop using Dr. King as an example of a peaceful protest. You shot him too. The fucking irony in it. It's so good. The irony in it is so... This isn't what Dr. King would want. This isn't what Dr. King would do. Yeah, but you killed him too. So we can't do it that way. We can't do it this way. And if we do it like the Black Panthers, you kill them motherfuckers. If we do it like Dr. King, you kill them motherfuckers. If we do it like Malcolm X, you kill them motherfuckers. If we do it like Medgar Evers, you kill them motherfuckers. So please don't use Dr. King as an example for us to follow. When the United States government had to admit that they had a role in his assassination, where his family actually got paid off. They had to give his family due pays for killing that man. 35, 36 years old. That man went nothing but in his mid. I'm older than Dr. King is when he died. Right now, I'm older than he was. Imagine what that motherfucker could have did if he lived to see 55, 65, 75 years old. And he was a criminal. Criminal as hell. How many times he get locked up? For breaking laws. Criminal as fuck. Right? But then white people want to use him all the time. Spread the love of Dr. King. I had a dream. Y'all killed that motherfucker. You killed the dream. And now you give him a holiday and all this shit. It's so, I mean, the irony in it is so funny to me. And it's weird that people don't see that. And so I posted that shit because I liked it. I liked that. And so we talking about art today, but this right here was heavy for me, so we gonna go through this right here first. And so now, like I say, this lady that I met a few years ago from New York, Aurora, a white lady, replies to this post here. Once again, dear white people, stop using Dr. King as an example of a peaceful protest. You shot him too. Aurora says, any statement beginning, dear white people, is so concerning. It is a defamation of racism grouping all people of one race into a behavioral pattern. This meme itself, the thing it decrees. It does not bring up a useful conversation. It points the finger of blame at an entire group based purely upon their skin color. I would far prefer that you healed your ancestral traumas and find a way to move beyond personal and group victimhood in order to have real human connections with people that are not diminished by the color of their skin, which seems more what MLK stood for. My reply? I would prefer to post whatever the fuck I want. This post got you to make a comment, so it's working exactly as intended. You should never tell a black person what you prefer, because collectively we don't give a fuck. After you read this, I will delete you from my friends list. Nice knowing you. She responds, I can never reply to a black person, but you can collectivize all white people into one group to demonize them. ? Again, please heal your ancestral and personal trauma so that we can have a real interaction. And if you unfriend me, please remember in the future that it came from your own fragility and inability to have a conversation with me based upon my skin color. Nice knowing you too. Good luck with your art. So, first of all, ladies, the way that we met was in person, through dialogue in a real conversation, face to face. So I can have a real conversation with anyone. And for you to say what you prefer, me or a collective group to do, is fucking the most ignorant shit I've ever heard anyone. I would prefer for you to heal your ancestral wounds. Bitch. Yo, how the fuck we gonna heal ancestral wounds when you still ain't pulled the fucking knife out all the way? Like Malcolm X said, you stab me in my back with a fucking knife, a 9-inch knife, and you pull it out 6 inches, and then you talking about heal. Bitch, how am I supposed to heal that shit? You would prefer that I heal my ancestral wounds? You know how I can heal my ancestral wounds? Give me motherfucking reparations. That's how we start to heal our ancestral wounds. And then we set up a whole think tank on how can we get the entire black community some kind of therapy and counseling due to the fact that we have this generational stigma placed upon us just by the color of our skin. And nobody ever gave us psychological counseling for that shit. So post-traumatic slave syndrome is still something that's deeply embedded in our youth today. How about we get rid of the whole monopoly over black culture, where you fucking suck everything from us and still don't give us credit for anything. You want to talk about healing some fucking wounds? White America has a play in that shit. Once it needs to organize, who is our to the masses the reasons we need to organize. You kill these motherfuckers and you demonize everything we fucking do. So yes, collectively, if you don't use Martin Luther King as some fucking slide to let you get by, then it's not for you. So you took the post way too personal, because and it sounds like you really wanted to say something else too. Like, she really didn't say what the fuck she wanted to say. But that shit right there, I would prefer for you to do whatever. That shit ain't even possible. Not right now. That's why motherfuckers still rioting and burning this motherfucking shit down. Everything about the black body to this day is still demonized and criminalized on sight. And we have so much evidence now that every time this shit pops off, there is that white insurgency to spark that initial incendiary that sets everything off every fucking time. Black Lives Matter is the same fucking thing. The shit has been co-opted for so fucking long now that most of it, even the last shit and whatever shit when the little kid shot the motherfuckers, it's a white kid shooting 3 other white people at a Black Lives Matter riot. I mean, the fucking the hypocrisy in this shit. A Black Lives Matter riot that's burning down a city, and you have a white vigilante who shoot 3 other rioters and kills 2 of them, and they're all white. So yeah, like the post said, yo, white America, don't use Martin Luther King for none of that shit, because y'all killed him too. And don't get mad because I say that shit. And then tell me what you prefer me to do. Yeah, let's do talk about that. Yeah, so let's talk about black on black violence, the psychodynamics of self-black annihilation in service of white domination. I know the words are kind of big, but white domination. You want to know why we kill ourselves at the rate we do? Motherfuckers is brainwashed. Simple as that. Brainwashed. And some of us know it, some of us don't. Back to my all the shit I like to post on Facebook. So here's a picture of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And next to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing is a picture of these 2 entertainers from one of their most recent videos. How many people know who these are? Oh, a lot of people know who the fuck that is, right? We know who that is. Do you know who this lady is? See, this is the kind of shit that y'all don't fucking get through your goddamn head. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing wrote in her book, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, The ISIS Papers, Keys to the Colors. I don't have it hanging in here anymore. I had to paint it in here, but... And she wrote that we're the only people on the entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise our detriment. I'm a bitch. I'm a hoe. I'm a gangster. I'm a thug. I'm a dog. If you can train people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever. You can even program them to kill themselves, and they won't even understand what's happening. White American self-fulfilling prophecies and falsifications of the African personality. The white American falsified African identity is introjected, actualized, and interactively programmed within the body of the ego complex of the collective African American personality, principally by means of projective, self-fulfilling processes. While white American projectively based exploitation of the African Americans would not be psychodynamically successful if the exploited African ego complex could present an effective opposing set of cognitive, personal, and behavioral characteristics which would belie them. In order for white American exploitation of the African American to achieve psychodynamic and mental success, it is necessary that Eurocentrically falsified images through the behavioral orientations be actualized in a collective African psyche. Everything is programmed into us. By who? The people who run the fucking country. The people who run the fucking world. Are we waking up from this shit? Oh, surely we are. And that is the scariest thing ever. It's the scariest thing ever to see niggas organized. That's why they keep killing our organizations. Never want it to happen. So don't be like, oh, black on black violence. Let's not talk about that shit though. But when motherfuckers start organizing, then you start talking about that shit in a negative way. Don't kill each other. Oh, but don't come together either though. Kind of stay in the middle. You know? We don't really need y'all to organize and become an autonomous collective. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover was asked what, in his opinion, was the single greatest threat to the United States of America. He responded, Negro unity. Take a moment to let that sink in. What's the biggest threat to the United States? Is Negro unity. You think that concept just faded out somewhere and just went away? What if all the niggas really got together?
Are recruiting criminals and hoodlums and encouraging them to engage in a broad range of terrorist activities. They are the greatest threat to the internal security of this country. We want to make it clear to black youth that if they want to be revolutionaries, they will be dead revolutionaries.
Straight up telling the revolutionaries like Malcolm X, like Fred Hampton, all the revolutionaries like Huey P. Newton. You want to be revolutionary? You want to unite black America within our nation? That's the biggest threat we ever gonna see. You will be a dead revolutionary, and that's what they do every time. And that sentiment has not went anywhere. And how does my art add to the conversation? Because I put my fucking books in the art. You ever read this book? Nah, it's a hot ass painting though, right? All the detail, the intricacy, the technical prowess of the brushwork. You know what? You need to still go read that book though, The Destruction of Black Civilization. You know what? Shit hot, bruh. Cause you can't do this. I got them skills, bro. Nobody can't do that like I do it. But you know what? You need an American apartheid and some Malcolm X. You need to know who the fuck Nat Turner was and what happened in 1831. That it? Nah, I don't read that shit. I just make this shit up. I just pull shit out of my fucking ass. You know? Jim Crow. Michelle Alexander, Sacred Woman. Y'all ever read that? Y'all, you ever read Message to the Black Man? When Rocks Cry Out? 48 Laws of Power? Ever read any of that shit? Okay, then there's a whole conversation for you right there. Go to Amazon, order you some literature, start you a little library, educate your damn self. My shit ain't called Art and Education for no reason. Yeah, but don't tell a motherfucker what you prefer they should do. That's the dumbest shit ever. You know what? Run your own fucking life. So I had to delete Aurora from my friend list on Facebook because she told me what she preferred for me to do in the most ignorant way ever. And then it wasn't me after that, like 3 other people went in on her, yo, like hard body. Mm. Mm. Damn, somebody else just wrote some shit going in again. Mm. If you were truly concerned about our healing, you would have not made the post about you and your collective. And your response is the very reason "Dear White People" phrase exists. The post triggered something in you that made you feel you needed to defend white people. You missed the whole point of the post because you allowed your discomfort with the reality of why the post is necessary. Your ancestors brutalized people of color in the name of white prosperity and supremacy. So if it's your intentions to separate yourself from the sins of your forefathers, then you will need to first fully accept your history and then understand that we don't need white people to tell us how and when to heal. The oppressor does not get to preach to the oppressed. And and having white friends doesn't exempt you from being racist having white friends doesn't exempt you from being racist or at the very least biased. Stop thinking that you can continue to kill us, and we want our white allies to stand up with us and demonstrate that the racial system and laws, beliefs created by whites must come down. That's it. There's no middle ground, no gray area, which is likely where you find yourself. We'll start healing when we're no longer being traumatized, and even then, how and when we do is none of your concern. You need to decide which side of history you want to be standing on, with us or against us. Either way, the marathon to equality continues until change happens. That's pretty good. I don't put myself in no box, bro. Oh, I can't categorize myself as anything, yo. I'm a human being, and I'm gonna be this way until I'm no longer being. That's all it is, man. I'm a human being. I'm a resident of motherfucking planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how I get no simpler than that, man. All the systems and constructs that been put in place, yeah. Are they helpful to motherfuckers who need that shit? But there's uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, very few left now, that never needed any of this shit. The people from North Sentinel Island don't need any of this shit, and they get along just fine. Just fine. Motherfuckers think this is civilization. It's not. It's barbarism. Anything that the European has ever touched hasn't been civilized. You went from well, it's not barbar. It's basically decadence. You know what I'm saying? And it came through barbarism without ever being civilized. You went from barbarism to decadence with no civilization. That's why motherfuckers still making different kind of guns, different kind of bombs, different kind of tanks, nukes and all this other shit. Motherfuckers ain't civilized. How can anybody say they civilized and build weapons of mass destruction to try to figure out ways how to kill the largest amount of people the fastest way possible using the least amount of energy? If we were civilized, if this shit ever became civilized, motherfuckers would have been in the stars by now. Motherfucking International Space Station would have been fucking 20 times as large as it is. Moon bases, motherfuckers already setting up on Mars, and a goddamn ship headed to goddamn to the Dog Star or some dumbass shit. Nah, these motherfuckers still want to sit here and blow each other up. Barbarism to decadence. I freehand small canvases, larger canvases. I projected. No, I didn't even project that one because that was easy. Like some shit that has like some bigger shit with a lot of details, I project that shit just so I don't have to take too much time drawing that shit. But grids, I've been stopping grids a long time ago, man. You freehand that shit, bro. Freehand that shit. My art teacher, my mentor, he the one who told me about projectors. Like I never knew about that shit. Like he's like, did you grid that? I'm like, nah. It's freehand, bro. Like, nigga, my freehand is beast, bro. I say, some motherfuckers use a projector and can't draw. You gotta know how to draw, though. Like, I haven't actually put nothing in the sketch pad in a minute. I need to just pull out some pictures and draw some shit. Yeah, but I haven't used the grid method in so long. I try to tell people about the grid method, though. It's very helpful for people who can't really draw like that. But then I tell people too, if you can't draw, if you can't at least do the fucking grid method, don't touch your goddamn projector, bro. You need to fucking you need to know how to draw before you can project some shit. Yeah, bro, no grid. I don't use no grid. Just draw that shit. I was painting a what? was painting a tractor, eh? The fuck is that? Alright. Got enough of the political commentary out the way. Like I said, I told a couple of people I were going to talk about this shit. Like some of the people who were involved in the conversation. Alright, so I'm telling my YouTube streamers, my YouTube viewers about this shit, man. Motherfucker come on my damn page about a Dr. King post telling me, oh, what I prefer you to do. Bitch, you delete it. Don't tell me what you prefer me to do. You don't even know me like that in real life. What the hell wrong with you? What I prefer you to do is shut the fuck up. That's what I prefer you to do. Shut the fuck up. How about you do that? Prefer me. Nothing but the finest oils, baby. And nothing like that oil paint, bro. My favorite color in the world, yo. Caucasian flesh tone. Love that shit, yo. It's so funny, yo. Caucasian flesh tone. After the lady on the post like, yo, you can't group all white people together. Gambling just did. They just said that this is what color you guys are. This is what Caucasian people look like. That's crazy. That good as this is the Artisan's Winsor Newton. So try to use the best of the best oils, the best of the best canvases. I gotta start stretching my own canvases. I think I might try that sometime next year. Like just stretch my own shit. See how that works out. See if I fuck it up. Come up with some crooked ass canvas. Boy, this piece is hella big. And I've been working on it for a long time. Ooh. But it's starting to come together. Ooh, ooh. This is for a client of mine. This is his third painting. And you can see how large it is. It's obviously not cheap. So don't nobody ask me, oh, how much that costs? Because y'all cannot afford this shit. I'm going to let you know right now. If you're not no baller, like you're not balling like this dude. So y'all can't afford nothing like this. And this shit big as fuck, son. Look at this shit. Yeah. So hopefully I can get this shit done soon. And then I started another commission. Then I got another commission to start after that one. So I'm gonna be booked up for the next couple of months. So if you need a painting for a birthday next month, I ain't gonna be able to get to it. You know, because normally I ask for a month. I ask for at least a month to get a painting done. Because I still gotta work my regular 9 to 5. I go to work every day and pay my taxes. And I own my home, so I gotta pay all my property taxes and all that shit too. You know? That's how I earn a living at my job. And my art is a major subsidy for my income. Major. I gotta make this shit my main income soon enough. But yeah, so I can't complete commissions as fast as I would like to, For the simple fact, I gotta go to work. I can't be home all day painting. Man, if I was able to be home all day and paint, ooh, man, I'd be knocking these motherfuckers out left and right. Boop, back, boop, like I'm a boxer. Knocking their ass out. You know what I'm saying? I'm the greatest. What the fuck is that? Get off my damn canvas. It look like a little gnat or something trying to stick to that thing. Even the bugs want a piece of it. Like, damn, that shit really look like the sky, homie. I thought I was flying high. Damn, man, this shit looks so good. I amaze myself sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, don't forget, guys. Um, oh yeah, but I still go to work every day, homie. Hey, I don't know how much longer though. I agree to say, man. I live in Pennsylvania. So what you do is you go to the State Museum of Pennsylvania and go to their little page on Facebook. The State Museum of Pennsylvania. This Sunday at 2 o'clock, they're gonna have their virtual award ceremony for this year's state art show, the statewide art show, and it's at the Capitol at the State Museum. So this is only the best of the best artists from the state of Pennsylvania. I don't know what state y'all live in, but PA a big ass state, so there are a lot of artists submitting art. And this year, the State Museum bought my painting to keep in their personal collection. I am officially a part of a state museum's private collection. As long as this museum is in existence, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, it'll still be on display in a museum. So I don't know how much longer this 9 to 5 is gonna hold out. Cause if I can keep selling art like that, bruh, you don't even know. I want to tell y'all how much I sell that shit for. So much money. I gotta get more money next time for another piece. I keep thinking I should have charged the motherfuckers more. It's the museum. They got the money for that shit. I should have charged them more for that shit. But this is like one of my major, like my first major accomplishment. I done had all kind of shows. I done had 3 shows going on at one time. I done had solo shows at like big galleries. A gallery is different from a museum though. Like that museum, that shit kind of like legitimizes your shit, yo. That shit legitimizes your shit. And that's why people like, oh, why you don't paint Biggie Smalls or Tupac? You ever been to a fucking museum and seen a painting of Tupac in there? I don't think so. You gotta be a little bit more original than that. You gotta be a little bit more creative than just painting deceased pop stars. You know? So I put that real shit in my art. So much so, I'm a part of a museum collection. Check it out. Sunday, 2 o'clock. The State Museum of Pennsylvania. They're gonna have their virtual show on Facebook and I guess other social media platforms. So you'll see this year, 2020, I am the best artist in the entire state of PA. Can you dig it? I can dig it. I feel good saying that shit. In 2020, I was the best artist in the entire state. So much so that the State Museum bought my painting. That's how good I am. Now, on to the next chapter. Let's keep this shit rolling. Keep this shit rolling. What other opportunities gonna come from this? I have no idea, but I know they coming. That's the thing, son. That's the fucking thing. I don't know what's next, but something else is gonna come behind this right here. Something else gotta come behind this. And whatever it is, I'm gonna be ready for it. You know why? I'll be painting my ass off. I'll be painting my fucking ass off.
The video is sponsored by Curiosity. Get access to my streaming video service, Nebula, when you sign up for CuriosityStream using the link in the description.
Many things could cause people to flee to the stones, be it a flight from ruin or pursuit of new worlds and opportunities.
Such an exodus might be a protracted or even perpetual state around which a civilization might arise. So last week we were looking at future types of government, and this week we'll be continuing that discussion as we contemplate the popular science fiction trope of wandering fleets with no homeworld to call their own, often operating under some oligarchy of ship captains, something called a navarchy. And we'll explore what might cause such a civilization to exist and how they might operate. We see this nomadic fleet civilizations in many a story, but two of the best known are the remnant survivors in Battlestar Galactica, whose homeworlds were taken away by the Cylons, a race of artificial intelligences they had made, and the Corans of Mass Effect, whose homeworld was taken away by the Geth, a race of artificial intelligences they had made. There are also the Eldar craft worlds in Warhammer 40,000, giant ships that fled their old civilization's descent into chaotic debauchery. Even J.R.R. Tolkien's classic Lord of the Rings series mentions an island civilization called Numenor that rose to great power on land and sea before playing with fire and getting burned, leaving its handful of survivors to found the realms in exile of Arnor and Gondor. Fleeing a natural disaster, an enemy, or a civilization back home that is turned repugnant certainly seems like good reasons to jump aboard every available ship and make an exodus. Often the in-story reason for the exile or exodus is that their civilization did something forbidden or just very foolish, and the survivors were those few lucky or pure enough to avoid the calamity and flee, with some parallels to Noah's Ark or Lot's flight from Sodom, to name two of the better-known tales out of countless ones about flight from ruination. Many of the pilgrims who settled the North Atlantic seaboard saw themselves as fleeing flawed civilizations, accurate or not, and this appears to be a fairly common theme for colonists. As it was a driving motivation, it obviously has a big impact on how the civilization would organize itself. That could compound a lot too. If your civilization was fleeing a collapse, or perceived collapse, whose culprit was a descent into excess and debauchery, and you're doing on board a ragtag patchwork fleet always short of resources, your new nomad culture probably has a double dose of austerity and asceticism driving on, as you're all afraid of too relaxed and pleasant a lifestyle, and all busy barely eking out an existence. Emphasis on perceived descent, though, because for all purposes today, it doesn't matter if the culture actually was decadent or wicked or being punished, just the people fleeing it think so at the time. And some civilization plowing through space for generations might come to perceive their distant ancestors as such a civilization, even if the original folks on the ships did not. A fleet of generation ships, for instance, may have left a glorious and prosperous civilization for a 1,000-year journey to spread humanity out to new worlds, and come to think of it, after many generations, as a flight from some calamity. They might see themselves as spending generations wandering the desert of space for their new homeland, a paradise they are traveling toward. Alternatively, they might be afraid of settling worlds, as opposed to living on ships, as they might come to think of it as some sort of spiritual trap, and opt not to settle their original destination system in favor of merely stopping to gather up raw materials. Or they might be afraid of pursuit. They fled and the enemy follows them, always one step behind, so they dare not settle. Indeed, that need not be the truth either. Generations of cultural mutation and existing ship hierarchies not wanting to give up control might result in them fleeing an enemy that long since stopped pursuing them, or ceased existing, or had never existed except in their shared nightmare. There are many reasons a civilization might exist as nomads, and it might not be perceived as a necessity either. Those who ply the space lanes, carrying cargo from world to world, or artificial habitat to artificial habitat, might simply be a culture that emerges all on its own. As an example, it's popular in science fiction for some great galactic capital board to be a planet-wide city, an ecomonopolis, of 1 trillion citizens unable to grow their own food and forced to import it. As we looked at in our episodes on that topic, that shouldn't actually be an issue for them. But if we assumed a fleet of ships had to bring that food in from dedicated agricultural wards or space farms, they would presumably need to bring in around 1 trillion tons of cargo a year to keep that ward fed. Even if they only needed 1 crew member for every 1,000 tons of cargo brought in per year, that is 1 billion people, and more than enough for a splinter civilization all on its own, or in truth, several hundred. In Battlestar Galactica, we have a fleet of 50,000 people on board, and it's easy enough to view that as its own culture. If we're thinking of that in terms of 1 billion folks employed for generations just running food to an Ecomonopolis hive ward, that would be enough for 20,000 of those Battlestar Galactica cultures, meaning you could conceivably have a nomad fleet culture not for running food to one specific Ecomonopolis, but one entirely devoted just to the import of strawberries or pineapples or mangoes. Heck, they might have skirmishes between them over docking rights, space lanes, or trying to sabotage the supply chain of their rivals. Alternatively, you might have mobile hydroponic ships that grew food and delivered it to myriad asteroid mines or space habitats, wandering the space lanes for centuries without ever stopping at the same place twice as they sought their next customer. Now, we can snicker at that notion a bit, and again, as we saw in our episode on planet-wide cities, they probably would grow most of their own food. But in something immense like a Dyson swarm, composed of hundreds of trillions of habitats with hundreds of thousands of people on each, if you supply some good, you could easily visit a new habitat every week, and the sun would burn out before you ever visited a single % of them. More to the point, even if most of your commerce and passenger ships were heavily automated, and most production was localized to each habitat, you still have trillions of ships meandering around the solar system at any given time. And that's just one system out of billions in our galaxy alone. So even without contemplating interstellar colonial fleets or those fleeing disasters, we've got plenty of room for nomadic space fleets. But let's contemplate the colonial example for a moment. In our Generation Ships and Life in a Space Colony series, we contemplated something called a Gardner ship or Gardner fleet. This is a ship meant to travel for many decades to reach a new system, pause to resupply and set up a colony, then move onward to make another, and another, and another, headed outward slowly to the galactic rim on a voyage of 1 million years. This is a very different setup than the classic colony ship or fleet because it's not leave Earth, arrive at a new home. It's a recognition that an interstellar ship needs to be so good at repairing and replacing parts, able to manufacture any and every